Welcome to a new edition of Alia's interviews. My name is Alia Almoayed and I'm a nutritional therapist and health consultant. I love learning about all the different ways you can improve and enhance your life, so I'd like to invite you to join me as I interview some very interesting people who are experts in their fields. The interviews are fun and casual, and I promise that you'll learn something interesting every time. To get more information, go to my website at www.aliaalmoayed.com. In this particular interview, I talked to Dr. P. Sambhu of the Ayusha Ayurvedic Center in Kerala, India. Sit back and enjoy. So, the treatment in your, what is it called exactly, the Ayusha?
The name of the place is Ayusha. Mm-hmm. That's the name, which means Ayu means is a Sanskrit word, means life. Mm-hmm. The second part, Shya means something supporting the life. That's a Sanskrit word. So I found this place around in the 89. I got my medical degrees in 88, 89 time. Mm-hmm. So the moment I am out of the college, I opened a place, and so I got mostly the clients from Europe. Mm-hmm. Also
come to you here?
Come to you here, yeah, okay. Here. So they're coming mostly from November, mm-hmm. October, November when I'm here, to March. That's the time I'm personally here. The other time I'm traveling to United States. I got a place in Chicago. Okay. Then I worked a little bit in Germany, in Switzerland, Austria, and Italy most of the time. So I'm kind of traveling between this area. So all these places I work with doctors. I've got clients there. I send some medicine oils over there and work. So here, most of the people go through a particular procedure in Ayurveda called Panchakarma. Mm-hmm. It is a detox protocol. And in this procedure we use oils and other things, which involves a lot of massages, dripping oil in the forehead, putting oil in the nose. There's a lot of procedure involved in it. Mm-hmm. To remove first heavy metals that include mercury, lead, even we remove the radioactive materials like uranium and so on. This is by a process called chelation, to chemically speaking, but we use oil to flush this out from the connective tissue.
So the oil that you put, you mix it with specific herbs, or how does the
oils cook with herbs in a particular number of days.
Okay.
And it's like everyday heating from 8 to 10 hours to 24-hour heating. Mm-hmm. And it's a complex procedure. So adding different herbal teas on it, herbal powders on it, and constantly stirring it. It's like a cooking procedure, but it go through a particular consistency of the oil, then we take it out.
And do you apply specific herbs for different people, or is it a standard?
No. It is for different people, different oil or the blend of oils. Mm-hmm. That controlled by the decision made by the body types. Mm-hmm. We got 3 body types, or the combination of the body type. Mm-hmm. That's one of the fundamental principles in Ayurveda. Mm-hmm. We call 3 dosha, 3 types of body. We call the Vata type, Pitta type, and Kapha type. Mm-hmm. In the Vata type, people look very thin. You can see veins and everything when you look at the arms. You can see the bones in them. They look thin and dry. So now you don't see anybody dry, because then you will see they applied heavily moisturizers. Then second people we call a Pitta type. They're very fiery type people. The bodies look very athletic, more defined muscles, and they have more of a high energy, competitive, pushing type of personalities. So they are fiery type. So we use oils and other things which is cooling, calming. The first type which I mentioned, Vata type, which are more cerebral people. So they are always fluctuating. So we have to produce oils and procedures, make them calm and quiet. The third group we call the Kapha type. They are more earth type people. They're more solid, quiet, passive, internalizing. They look more round and heavy. They're well covered with muscles. Even if they look thin, they're covered with muscles. That means they're more Kapha. So we need to use some oils to warm them up, to open them up. So everybody is a mixture of all the 3 things.
And you say the ideal treatment here for you is 21 days if a person has.
That's a traditional, yeah.
Is that regardless of their specific dosha that they
Correct.
come with?
Correct. Regardless of it, yeah. 21 days, and that comes from we call by the 7 chakras. These are energy centers, we call it, or we call a nerve plexus. Mm-hmm. And we call the Vata, Pitta, Kapha balancing in each of the 7 chakras. So that number came up by 21 in that level. But in my experience, sometimes people respond too much, too quick. They opens up too quick. If they have some emotional imprints, negative emotional imprints in them, or some traumatic things. So we need to give them a breathing space. We want to deflate them softly. So then we will do 5 days or 7 days. Then we tell them take a break. 3-4 days, have a little travel or relax, and we start again. So that depends on the individual response. Yeah.
And the actual treatment involves, when you say you mix these oils specifically for that person, what happens to these oils once a person does come to the center? I mean, what are, you say ears and nose, and I mean, somebody hearing this might not understand exactly what.
Okay, just imagine like you're washing a cloth. You need a detergent. So here the oils act like a detergent or bio detergent. So the massage part, touching the body, is like you need like a hand washing of a cloth. You're just moving, rinsing the cloth and all these things. So that movement is to move the toxins from the connective tissue. And the oils are lipids. So your cell walls are, we call them bilipid layers. It's a double lipid layer. So a lipid can go through another lipid much more easier. So the oil can go there, and the massage and other thing move the toxins from the accumulated side. It can be in the fat layers, it can be in the connective tissue. So we are actually moving the toxin from the accumulated side, and the oils are helping to transport it to the excretory sides, like through urine, through sweat, through fecal matter. So that's the first process. Putting oil in the nose and the ear is actually helping in the same thing, but it also have a psychological effect. Putting oil in the nose will work on we call the cranial nerves, and that controls your 5 senses, your vision, your smell, your taste, all these things, your connection, connecting to the outside world. So in our language we call it how you see the outside world. You see it very happy, quiet, relaxed, threatening, struggling.
How you seem to the outside?
How you see it.
How you see the outside world. Okay.
So
just your senses, stimulating the senses.
Correct, yeah. So for example, it depends on your childhood experience, the way you brought up. So if somebody coming from a difficult background, always expect difficulties in the life ahead, because that's a norm. That's what they used to. So here when we go through the process, we changing those imprints in the system. So we call it, you have a sad memory or an angry memory or some incident. When we go through the process by applying oils there, again the oils are lipids. Your nervous system is made up of lipids, 70%, 80% is a fat, So it can help, and all the components of the oil, most speaking in my language, it's mostly of an omega-3, omega-6, omega-9. So all these things will reinforce the myelin sheath to help the neurotransmitter flow, the production of a neurotransmitter support. All these things happen with these high quality oils. So that helps the person to become more coherent in the mind.
And when you put it in the nose, do you actually take it in through the nose?
To take it in through the nose. It helps him to produce neuropeptides. We have people with depression. So they're taking, we call it serotonin uptake, serotonin boosting tablets. So when you through the nose, it can go through the pituitary gland to produce serotonin, melatonin, and all these things. In the ancient Egypt, they took the brain matter and everything, they applied through the nose to keep the mummies intact and so on. So through the nose is the best way to reach the brain. And also it's very cosmetic, good for the eyes, good for the face. It got a lot of the cosmetic properties and so on. 1 minute. തുടങ്ങും നിങ്ങൾക്ക് തുടങ്ങിക്കൊണ്ടാണ് ഞാൻ വിളിച്ചിട്ട് ഇരുത്തി മസാജ് ആയിട്ട് തുടങ്ങിക്കൊണ്ടാണ് ഞാൻ വന്നോളാം.
So do you drink the oils as well? So you do the nose?
You also drink the oil.
You also
drink the oil, yeah. So that depends on the pathology, and we will look at we call the liver strength. So because any oil is an overload to the liver, so we will see if they can process it or not. If they can process it, yes, we will give a few drops. It's like a few drops, and that depends on if they have a rheumatic condition.